Throughout history, people have trusted dreams in ways that feel foreign to the modern mind. For ancient kings, monks, soldiers, and ordinary villagers, sleep was not an escape from reality, but a doorway into it. Dreams were treated as warnings, messages, or previews of events yet to come. Chroniclers recorded them carefully, sometimes with more seriousness than battles or treaties. What makes some of these dreams unsettling is not poetry or symbolism, but accuracy. Certain dreams, written down before events occurred, appear to describe the future with chilling precision. This is the quiet history of dreams that came true. In the ancient Near East, dreams were considered official channels of communication between the divine and humanity. One of the earliest and most famous examples comes from Mesopotamia. Clay tablets from around 2000 BCE describe kings who altered political decisions based on dreams. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, prophetic dreams appear repeatedly, foretelling dangers and victories. These were not metaphors added later. They were part of a worldview in which sleep revealed what waking eyes could not see. A dream ignored was considered reckless, even sinful. Ancient Egypt took this belief further by systematizing dreams. Dream manuals were created, listing symbols and their meanings. One papyrus from the New Kingdom period records a dream in which a man saw the Nile running dry. Shortly after, a devastating famine struck the region. Priests interpreted the dream as a warning that the gods were displeased. What matters historically is not whether the dream caused the famine, but that the dream was recorded before the event and referenced afterward as a fulfilled warning. Perhaps the most famous prophetic dream in Western history belongs to Alexander the Great. Ancient sources like Plutarch describe how Alexander dreamed of a satyr dancing on the walls of Tyre during his long siege of the city. His interpreters broke the Greek word satyros into satyros, meaning Tyre is yours. Shortly after, the supposedly impregnable city fell. Skeptics argue that the story was shaped after the victory, but multiple independent sources reference the dream, suggesting it was circulating before the siege ended. Rome, too, was a civilization that feared dreams. One of the most chilling examples involves Julius Caesar. According to historians like Suetonius and Plutarch, Caesar's wife Calpurnia dreamed that he was bleeding in her arms, stabbed repeatedly. She begged him not to go to the Senate the next day. Caesar hesitated, but political pressure pushed him forward. He was assassinated shortly after, stabbed exactly as Calpurnia had seen in her sleep. This dream has become legendary, but its inclusion in multiple Roman accounts suggests it was widely known immediately after the event, not invented centuries later. Medieval Europe, often portrayed as irrational, treated dreams with careful caution. Monasteries kept detailed dream records, especially when dreams involve future events. In the 12th century, a monk named Peter of Cornwall compiled a massive collection of dreams, many of which included predictions of death. One entry describes a knight who dreamed of attending his own funeral. Days later, he was killed in a riding accident. The monk noted the exact wording of the dream and the date it occurred, suggesting a genuine attempt at documentation rather than storytelling. One of the most disturbing dream prophecies comes from the Black Death period. In 1348, as the plague swept through Europe, several chronicles mention people dreaming of black figures counting houses. Those whose doors were counted fell days later. In Italy, a Florentine notary recorded his own dream of a silent procession carrying candles through empty streets. Within a week, his entire neighborhood was dead. These dreams spread panic not because they were symbolic, but because they appeared to match unfolding reality. Islamic history also contains carefully preserved dream accounts. Dreams were considered a minor form of prophecy, especially those experienced by respected individuals. One famous example involves Sultan Selim I of the Ottoman Empire. Chroniclers record that he dreamed of a white-bearded man pointing toward Egypt and telling him that the land was already his. Soon after, Selim launched his campaign against the Mamluks and conquered Egypt, fundamentally reshaping the Islamic world. The dream was written down before the campaign, later cited as divine encouragement rather than hindsight fiction. In China, dream prophecy was embedded into imperial decision-making. The records of the grand historian mention Emperor Wu of Han dreaming of a golden man descending from the sky. His advisors interpreted this as a sign pointing west. Soon after, expeditions were sent along what became the Silk Route. While not a single predictive event, the dream influenced actions that changed history. Dreams were not passive predictions, they were catalysts. Not all prophetic dreams involved rulers. Some of the most unsettling come from ordinary people. In 17th century England, during the Great Fire of London, a servant girl reportedly dreamed of the city burning weeks before the fire began. She told her family, but no one acted. After the fire destroyed much of London, her story was included in pamphlets discussing divine warnings. These pamphlets were printed within months, not generations later, giving weight to the claim that the dream was known beforehand. One of the best documented modern prophetic dreams comes from the sinking of the Titanic in 1912. Multiple passengers reportedly canceled their trips after experiencing nightmares about a great ship sinking. Newspapers from the time confirm that several ticket holders withdrew shortly before departure, citing bad dreams or strong premonitions. While coincidence cannot be ruled out, the volume of such reports, recorded immediately after the disaster, is difficult to dismiss entirely. Even Abraham Lincoln, often seen as a rational thinker, experienced a disturbing dream shortly before his assassination. According to accounts, by his close friends, Lincoln dreamed of walking through the White House and seeing a corpse guarded by soldiers. When he asked who had died, the reply was the president. Days later, Lincoln was assassinated. The dream was recounted by those close to him shortly after his death, not as folklore, but as personal testimony. Historians struggle with these accounts because they exist on the border between belief and evidence. Dreams are private experiences, easily reshaped by memory. Yet what makes certain cases remarkable is documentation. When a dream is written down, dated, and preserved before an event occurs, it becomes part of the historical record, even if explained as coincidence. The emotional impact on those who lived through it was real. Why do such dreams appear during times of crisis? Some scholars suggest that heightened anxiety sharpens intuition. Others argue that the human mind subconsciously processes information and presents conclusions in symbolic form during sleep. A city under tension may feel like it is about to burn. A ruler surrounded by enemies may dream of death. Still, this does not explain the precision found in some accounts, where details match reality too closely to ignore. For people in the past, the explanation was simple. Dreams were messages. To ignore them was to invite disaster. This belief shaped decisions, delayed journeys, started wars, and ended lives. Whether or not dreams truly predicted the future, they undeniably influenced history. As you drift towards sleep tonight, consider this quiet truth from the past. Across centuries, in candlelit rooms and stone chambers, people closed their eyes and saw tomorrow. Some woke in fear, some woke in awe, and some never woke at all, their dreams fulfilled before morning came.